Turning now to the crisis at our own southern border, Texas Governor Greg Abbott is standing by his mission to bus illegal migrants to Washington. And the Biden administration is pushing back on the plan. Take a listen to how they described the situation.
I think it's pretty clear this is a publicity stunt. His own office admits that a migrant would need to voluntarily be transported, and then he can't compel them to because, again, enforcement of our country's immigration laws lies with the federal government, not a state.
And joining us now is the president of the Center for Renewing America and President Trump's former White House Office of Management and Budget Director, Russ Vought. Great to have you with us. What's your reaction to Jen Psaki, basically saying it's a big PR stunt? What's your reaction to Greg Abbott? I know that you and Ken Cuccinelli just wrote actually an article and wrote a column about it. So let's talk about that.
Sure. I mean, honestly, I think it's the first time that I've agreed with Jen Psaki that it is political theater. It doesn't mean that the governor's not doing anything that's helpful along the border. He has an Operation Lone Star that we've met with at the border with those state troopers, and they are doing important work. But we need Governor Abbott to do more. And our view is, given this administration, we have years to go with them. They're already talking and made a commitment to do away with Title 42, which will lead to 18,000 apprehensions per day, and none of those will be able to be turned back across the border like we currently are able to do with the nearly 7,000 apprehensions that happen per day. So we're going to see the border overrun in a way we haven't currently. And so our view, and we have put forward the legal doctrine to do this, is that governors need to step forward and use their authority under the Constitution, Article 1, Section 10, Clause 3, to unilaterally secure the border with what we believe are self-defense provisions under the Constitution that says when you are facing an invasion, that this is the kinds of steps that you can do to protect your people. The Attorney General from Arizona, Mark Brnovich, has endorsed this legal theory. It is totally constitutional. The facts on the ground are consistent with the theory, and we believe Governor Abbott needs to go forward, and that this would be the kind of thing that would not be political theater. We think Governor Abbott may get there and that he's still considering it. We hope that he is. But that's what's going to be necessary to be able to secure the border and not just sending people to D.C. with getting their permission to do so.
So what are some of the things that you believe that they could do or should do?
Sure. The main thing, and it's very simple. It is having their National Guardsmen, their state troopers, deputizing sheriffs, and giving them rules of engagement that say, when an illegal immigrant comes across the border, you're going to interdict them. You're not going to give them over to Border Patrol to process them. You're literally going to take them across the border and return them to Mexico. And what we found in the Trump administration is that we were able to send back about 85% of the apprehensions that way under Title 42, different part of the law, but it allowed you to do it within 2 hours. So you didn't have to house people. You didn't have to have this whole process on this side of the border. It was very simple. And the reason why it's so simple but effective is that when you do that, you stop the flow. People stop coming because they know they will be turned back, as opposed to this neon light that the Biden administration has put around the border right now.
Yeah, and a lot of people are concerned, as you just talked about. It's like a big wide open sign. In the last week, one Central American country is already beginning to see a surge, which is amazing. Honduras is dealing with a huge number of migrants, causing towns to declare state of emergencies. Is this just the beginning? I mean, are you amazed that we're already sort of seeing that now, Russ?
It is just the beginning of what will happen as people realize there is no barrier whatsoever. And as you talk with Border Patrol individuals along the border, you really understand what they're up against. The cartels have operational control of the border. And so their strategy is to not evade Border Patrol. Their strategy is to give the illegal immigrants and put them on a path so that they will directly come into contact with Border Patrol, and that all of their time will be consumed processing. policing. Guess what? So that they can move drugs and other things across other parts that are unguarded. And so we're going to see that in spades. And this is going to impact every state in the country. This is just not a border state problem. This is a national crisis that we're up against.
Yeah, it sure is. And unfortunately, it seems like every state has become a border state because of what's happened with this administration. Russ, really interesting. Great to have you here and very important topic. Got to have you back on again. Thank you.